Hey guys, it's time for another CD review. This is for the new Angels and Airwaves album, Dreamwalker, The Dreamwalker. I had probably a couple dozen people ask me if I was going to do this review. Obviously, I was going to, but I figure if I don't do it soon enough, then people are going to want to kill me for some reason. But I mean, I've listened to it through twice. I mean, the songs that have been out for a little while, obviously, no more than others. But I'm just gonna give like my first impressions, songs that stood out more than others. Um, I'll give sort of like an overview for now. As a whole, I really really like the album. I don't feel like there's a single song that's really recycled from something else. You know, like how Everything's Magic from a few albums ago was like clearly Anthem Part 2, and then there's like some other stuff like that. But I feel like every song on this one really felt fresh and it really felt like it was unique. And even just in the album itself, I didn't feel like there was any two songs that really sounded the same, which was great. Um, I do know like when the first song was released, Paralyzed, I didn't really like it, and I know I mentioned this on my Facebook page that it's pretty much been that way with Angels and Airwaves for me almost since they started. Other than the first, other than the first album, the first song shown off for a new album was like my least favorite one. I did not like Anxiety. I still don't. Hallucinations I didn't really like. What about I Empire? What was the first song for that? I think it was Everything's Magic. I think. I don't know. If it was, then I mean I could take or leave that one. Um, so yeah, Paralyzed. I really wasn't big on it, and I mean it's still not my favorite on the album, but I mean it's grown on me a little bit. It at least has some guitar in it, which is cool. A lot of the songs on the album aren't very guitar driven, which is fine. I mean, I've been getting more and more used to that since Angels and Airways started. He's been doing less and less guitar work, which is fine. I love music. I mean, whether or not guitar is in it, I mean, it doesn't have to be in it for me to really like it, but people wonder why I'm not going to cover certain songs. I mean, if there's 15 seconds of guitar playing in a 4-minute song, I'm not going to cover it. There's just no point. Maybe I would do something like what if this song had a guitar solo or something? So maybe I'll do like a few of those for this album. You never know. Um, but I'm not upset that there's a lack of guitars on this album. Um, like one of my favorite songs is "Kiss with a Spell." I really like that one. Like as soon as I heard like the intro to that one, I loved it. Like I've always been a real big fan of like the '80s type synth driven songs, which are really cool and stuff I've always really liked, like Hall and Oates and Rush's synth stuff, and a whole number of different '80s bands. And I get that vibe for like the whole album. I really do. Um, the album intro was really great. Teenagers and Rituals. I did think it was a pretty solid opener. I really thought it was very different, really cool. You can definitely tell. I always forget his damn name. The drummer Elon. You could definitely see his presence had a big influence on the album, which is really cool. I really was not going to be happy if it sounded like Love or Love Part Two or any of those. I'm glad there's been a departure, and so far from what I've seen from everybody's reaction, I feel like a lot of people are really liking it for sure. Um, so I can't comment too much on each song individually. I know a lot of people really like Mercenaries. I don't think it's a bad song. I like that it is one of the more guitar filled songs, but I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily my favorite one, but it is cool. It is definitely different. Um, the Disease was really cool. Tremors was interesting. I didn't think it was bad or anything, but Anomaly was really cool. Um, and as much as I like Anomaly, I feel like it would have been better as like a bonus track or something. I feel like the album as a whole, I feel like it doesn't really fit the rest of the album because it's acoustic for the most part. I just feel like it's completely set off from the rest of the album. Like the rest of the album feels like it's all cohesive and it's like one unit, you know. But I feel like that song um, just it feels a little different from the rest of the songs. I mean, if there was more acoustic guitars in the rest of the album, then I don't feel like it would feel like the Black Sheep or whatever. You know, I feel like as strong of a song as it is, and as much as I can see that people really like it, I do feel like um, it doesn't really mix well with the rest of them. I don't know. That's just me. Like I said, I do like the song, but I just feel like it seems a little left field. I guess I don't know. Um, the drumming's all solid. You know, I definitely like the drumming for a lot of the album. I know a lot of people were complaining about just the mix, the overall mix of the album, and I can agree to some extent for it because trying to like learn some of the guitar parts isn't very easy when there's so much going on, and a lot of their songs they're just cram packed with so many different instruments and so many different melodies and everything just combined. It's crazy how much is going on in some of those songs. Like I was trying to learn what song was it? Tunnels, I think. I was trying to learn some of Tunnels like a week ago or something, and I'm like, I can't hear what the hell's going on half the time. And I wasn't sure if that was just because it might have been like a lower quality track. It might have been. So, I mean, I'll definitely give a better listen to it once it comes out officially tomorrow morning um, on iTunes. So, hopefully, I'll be able to hear it a bit better, and I'll go through like my headphones and stuff so I can really try and nitpick details and stuff. Um, So overall, I mean, I definitely think this is what Angels and Airwaves needed because a lot of people were getting a little sick of the same old routine um, that Tom was just doing. I mean, you could tell Tom was like the main voice and the main songwriter and everything, and he really needed this. He really needed Elon to, you know, bring it some new life because if they put out another album that sounded relatively the same, I feel like people would start to get bored for sure. Not that I was really bored with the last two albums. It's just like they were getting to the point where you could just kind of see what was coming, and none of it was really a surprise. I mean, it was cool to have new music, but it was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'll just throw it on the iPod and listen to it. You know, it's not something like this that like you listen to it and it truly feels like something different and something new, and I feel like it totally revitalized the band for sure. And I feel like this might even be the album that really pushed them into something bigger. You know, this might be something that gets them a lot more attention. I mean, time will tell, obviously, but I could see a lot of people liking this. But the people that were bitter when Blink broke up, I mean, I could see them liking this even less than, you know, We Don't Need to Whisper or anything like that. So, I mean, it's kind of a give and take. So, overall, I think it's a really great album. I don't know if I'd give it a perfect 10. I mean, I'd probably give it maybe like a 9.5. There's a couple parts where like some of Tom's like vocal melodies are like kind of made me question it a little bit. I mean, it's just nitpicking really. I mean, I personally would like better guitars, or not better guitars, but just more guitars, and maybe a little bit better of a mix, just so you could hear some guitars and stuff better. I mean, that's pretty much all I'd really want out of it. But overall, I mean, I'd still give it like a 9.5. I mean, I think it's a really good album, and you know, I could see this honestly becoming my favorite album of theirs. I mean, as much as I like their older stuff, I mean, I don't know. If if We Don't Need to Whisper came out today or this year, I feel like it wouldn't have been as impressive as something like this. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that will say that We Don't Need to Whisper is the best one, or even I Empire was the best one, or whichever one. Um, I feel like a lot of that's just because they're nostalgic towards it. So I mean, I'm judging this based off completely on this. I'm not judging it compared to the past or anything like that. And that's one thing I really wish people would stop doing. As soon as like a band puts out a new song, no matter what the band is, they immediately just judge it and compare it to what came out 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and they just can't fucking enjoy it for what it is, and that drives me nuts. So I really wish people could definitely do that. So anyway, if you haven't heard it yet, definitely go and check it out. Sorry I didn't give a super detailed thing for each song. Um, I mean, like I said, Teenage and Rituals is really cool. I like the piano intro. Paralyzed. Oh, I don't want that to play. Paralyzed, I think, is a good song. A lot of the guitar in it does sound a little like Ghost on the Dance Floor sort of riffs, but I mean, that's just Tom for you. Wolfpack, I thought was really cool. Lyrics are a little weird, but um, I like the overall feel of it. Tunnels, I love the vocal. What's the word I'm thinking of? The vocal delivery to it. I feel like a lot of the parts of the song are just like really big, and that's the same thing with Teenagers and Rituals too. I feel like they're both really big songs, which is cool. Kiss with a Spell was so different. I really really liked that. That one's definitely gonna be one of my favorites for sure. Mercenaries, like I said, I feel like it had a very strange vocal delivery to it. Something I wasn't really used to, and like it seemed a little rushed at times. But I mean, I can see why people do like it. It's probably the most Blink sounding song on the album. Um, but it's not a bad song. I do like the guitars in it. So, Bullets in the Wind is cool. It's a very different song. You could definitely tell that Elon wrote a lot of the main instruments in that one. I can definitely tell. The Disease and the Tremors, I'm having a hard time remembering a lot about those two songs. Um, but I do remember they were pretty solid. And Anomaly, like I said, was really cool. I like hearing Tom doing acoustic stuff for sure. I was not expecting it at all. Like I knew it was going to be the last song on the album when I got to it, and I started hearing acoustic guitars. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like I was really surprised. Um, but it's cool. I mean, it's another one of those songs where I feel like the vocal delivery was a little unexpected, but I mean, not really wrong or bad or anything. There's no wrong way, but just something a little different. And it's not like the usual stuff that Tom's doing. So some people may like it, some people might not. So anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say, and hopefully you enjoyed. And let me know if you have any other suggestions for more CD reviews. I don't think I really have anything coming out that I'm really excited for or anything anytime soon. So if I do any reviews, it'll probably be something that you guys suggest or something I just feel like I want to talk about that's been out for a little while or whatever. So that's about all I got. So thanks. I'll see you later.